All right. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Props of the Week. The first prop of the week are props of the week for 2026. Welcome in the new year. Been missing these fights and now we're about to get back into the groove of everything and I'm happy about that. But yeah, props of the week. In this edition, we'll be doing UFC 324, Gaethje versus Pimblett. Got me, King of Crackdown, and as always, Pro Bets, giving you our props of the week. So, no need to beat around the bush too much. Gonna hop right into it. Got 4 props for this week. So the first prop is Cortez Acosta via TKO at -115 going against Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis, as I said multiple times now, does not have the greatest track record against strikers. He has a better track record against grapplers than strikers. You might say, oh, his grappling is his biggest weakness. He might have like 2 losses via submission or controlled or 3, and got like 6 wins against grapplers. Whereas strikers, he's like 3 and 6 against strikers. And I think all those matches against strikers, he's been stopped. I think the only fight he hasn't been stopped in, as far as losing, was the Jelton Almeida, where Almeida just blanketed him. The other fights, when he fights strikers, if he loses, he gets TKO. It's not a sub, it's typically a TKO. And I think Cortez Acosta is rising to steam right now. He has good momentum behind him. He's been active. He's been hungry. He's got the spotlight on him, and I don't think he's going to be so quick to give that up. He has a good boxing background. He has a sturdy chin, and I think he has the better fundamental boxing, better momentum behind him. And again, like Derrick Lewis, the fight pretty much, I feel like it'll be a knockout or a knockout. Like, I can see a decision because at one point Acosta was more so a guy that couldn't really put a stamp on people, but he's been lately finding his groove, and I think he's going to continue to find that groove. And again, it's also not like Derrick Lewis has great defense or even particularly great technical offense. He has a good punch, underrated kicks, but really this offense, but no really lacking defense, and really there's a lot of stuff on that side. That's why when he typically fights a better striker, he hits him with the best punch he can give, and they start putting the pace on him, start hitting him back, he just wilts. Because again, his technique overall is very patchy, so especially on the defensive end. So a finish is very likely. Acosta's not going to submit him. Decision, I have concerns of that. But at -115, I think the more likely outcome is Acosta getting a TKO. So that at -115, I think is a good prop. Then the next prop, we got Paddy Pimblett via sub at +130. Justin Gaethje talking about he improving his grappling, but in his last fight he got mounted triangle and put it in a mounted triangle by undersized striker. Not to say he got submitted, but he got put in a triangle by undersized striker in physique. And if Pimblett gets on top of it, it's going to be a much worse situation. And Pimblett is coming into his own right now. He's peaking into his prime right now. Big, young lightweight, again, right in his prime, where Gaethje's kind of on exit on the downtrend. Gaethje's always live. He's a very credible veteran, very accomplished veteran. But, I have not seen nothing. His wrestling background is solid, but his BJJ is dog water, has always been dog water. I have not seen anything to show that his BJJ has not become anything that's not anything more than dog water. I have not seen his BJJ submission grappling become anything more than dog water. And I think Paddy Pimblett can find his way to the ground. Maybe the initial takedown, that would be the issue, but maybe looking to catch a kick or looking to crowd Gaethje and get him off balance and create a grappling situation. I could definitely see that happen. Gaethje often overswings with his punches, often over kicks, doesn't set his kicks up. And that's easy for a guy to get, capitalize on and throw you further off balance and create a grappling exchange. Same way he did with Bobby Green. It's not like he went out there and took down Bobby Green and had such great success with Bobby Green. He was attacking legs with Bobby Green. Bobby Green legs kind of buckled. He fell for it, and that created a grappling situation. So I can see a similar thing where he creates a grappling situation, whether it be a flurry of strikes, gets in and then creates a situation, or gets attacks the leg, attack the body, and just throw Gaethje off balance, then create a grappling situation. And then from there, I think he will have a huge grappling advantage. I can see a submission happening. And I think, and also with Gaethje, just same way with Derrick Lewis. Gaethje, the majority of his losses, if not all the losses he has had, matter of fact, all the losses he has had in his career have been stoppage. He got TKO 3 times, he got sub 2 times. And in all the fights that were title fight losses, whether it be interim or were really just actual title fights, but anyway, title fights, including interim, but mainly just official title fights or undisputed title fights, all his losses have been by submission. So this is a title fight. It's not undisputed, but still same ballpark of sorts. He's been submitted. He's been submitted by Khabib. He's been submitted by Oliveira. Not to say that Paddy Pimblett's on that level, but Gaethje's on down, so I can see him subbing Gaethje. And again, Gaethje, all his losses have been by stoppage. 3 TKO, 2 sub. And Patty Pimblett most likely path to victory if it's a finish is going to be by sub. And there's 5 rounds, so it's a lot of time for Gaethje to make mistakes, and he often does make mistakes. And I think Pimblett will capitalize on that. So at plus 110, I like that prop a lot. Then the next prop, we got O'Malley by decision at plus 110. Yadon Song's a solid fighter, but I think the grappling he has, that is an advantage. I don't think it's big enough. I'm going to use that to his victory. Use that to secure a victory for him. I think Sean O'Malley is a longer, more technical striker, faster, sharper, just better overall, and should be able to pick him apart. And Yadon Song got a big head. He's sturdy. I've barely ever seen him even hurt or rot. His chin is very sturdy. He got a big square head, so he can take some damage, and he's still young enough. And it's not like his chin has been compromised. And it's not like Sean O'Malley like the greatest finisher. He has a good track record finish, but it's not like it's not like Sean O'Malley's he's that guy cracks real hard. He's a sharp striker, but he's not really necessarily a heavy hitter consistently. So I can see it. Just that combination just leading to a fight that goes the distance, and Sean O'Malley just outworking, outlanding, outstriking Yadon Song here. So at plus 110, I think that's a pretty solid prop in my opinion. And last, but actually low-key least, but best value of the props I have this week, or that we have this week, is Charles Johnson via TKO at plus 550. Perez is what about Perez? Perez has been stopped in all his recent losses. You could say they all been by submission, so it's not the most likely prop. And Charles Johnson's not the greatest finisher, but he is coming off a couple finishes. Well, he is coming off a big finish, and he also finished Van probably about 2 years ago, who's the current champion. And Perez, again, in all his losses recently, he's been finished. I think in all his losses in general, he's been finished. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure at most he probably had like 1 decision loss in the UFC, maybe 1 or 2. But when you look at mainly think about his losses, they have all been by submission, but or injury. But Tyra was an injury, but they could say submission. Tyra Tyra was like an injury, so low-key TKO. And what about the other one? He just got submitted in his last fight by Amabayev, but he got rocked prior, and that's why I like this one. He got rocked in the 3rd round. He was doing pretty well, but Amabayev not really known for his striking. For him to get rocked by him, so it's not like Amabayev took him down to submit in the last round. He could struggle to get the grappling going. Amabayev did, but he started having striking success, and that's how he ultimately set up the submission success. And Johnson, I think, is a much more credible striker than Amabayev. And I also feel like Perez's wrestling has, as far as offensively, has diminished greatly over the years. I'm not saying his overall wrestling, but particularly his offensive wrestling has diminished greatly over the years. And I think Johnson's takedown defense has been improving over the years. So I think he'll be able to address the grappling Perez. And on the feet, I think he's a much sharper striker. And 15 minutes, a lot to work with. And as we saw Perez get stopped in the 3rd round. I think he gets stopped in the 3rd round again. I think Charles Johnson's going to be able to stop the takedown. And then as fight goes on, I think he's going to start to pick him apart on the feet and materialize that stoppage in the 3rd round via TKO. So I don't see a sub from Johnson. I could see the decision that's probably the most likely, but the best value is plus 550 on the TKO, and I can see Johnson finding that stoppage in the 3rd round. Again, it might not have been the same exact ballpark. Oh, he's going with a submission artist, so he'll get submitted, or he's whatever the case may be. But I could definitely see a TKO happen. And Charles Johnson's definitely looking to make a statement, especially with Van, the guy he knocked out, the last man to beat Van, stopped Van, was Charles Johnson. And he sees Van as a champion now. However, which way he had come, like you might say, he didn't really beat the champion, but he sees the guy that he beat with the belt around his waist. He's gonna be training harder than he ever did before. Come in to get his ticket and get a rematch. And he's definitely a good opportunity to do that and get that title shot and sneak his way right in there. Try to chase his dream. So I think he's gonna come in for a great performance, put a stamp on it, make a statement, and try to punch that ticket in. So Johnson by TKO at plus 550 is the final prop of this week. So how do you feel about those props, Pro Smoke?
Man, incredible, man. Waldo Acosta-Cortez, like you said, the combinations, very crisp, man. Heavy-handed, and he controls the pace with his jab. That high pace might overwhelm, Derek Lewis. So by finish, man, that's powerful there, Waldo. And then finish with Patty Pimblett on Gaethje, who was getting sandbagged by Rafael Fiziev, not once, but twice, man. I think he ankle picked the guy, bro. It was crazy. And, Sean O'Malley by decision at plus 110. Man, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Everyone's talking about how Song Yadong has this wrestling pedigree. I mean, all due respect to his gym and his coach for sure, but he's a Sanda kickboxer, who found a love for the sport of MMA and then rolled into jiu-jitsu. So he has a grappling base. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but that cancels out with O'Malley, who holds the same colored belt. I'm not sure where everyone's getting off with this wrestling. If anything, if he does take down Sean O'Malley, I don't think the judges are going to give it to him on control, because Song Yodong, if anything, there's a statistical there's differentials for the time he spends on top of an opponent that is not good for a fight like this, especially with high proportions, an opponent with such a stretch against him. So in the bantamweight division, Song Yodong has one of the worst stats for staying on top. So that's, to me, is clear as day a judge's call for a Sean O'Malley win, if there's anything close or controversial on a scorecard. And then, of course, man, we finished the fight card with the highest value, at plus 550. He's finishing Joshua Van against the octagon wall. Alex Perez, I think, for as great a wrestler he is, he's facing someone with a collegiate college system behind his back. That's Charles Johnson. It's incredible how also Johnson's going to leap so high in the rankings, man. It's incredible how they're going to shuffle him in. So that's a great pick, man. That's a lot of value, man. Let's go.
All right, so that concludes our props of the week for UFC 324, Gaethje versus Pimblett. As always, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to his channel, and catch y'all next time. Peace.